Welcome in, ladies and gentlemen, to Talk or Go Home. Nick Wilson, Clint Thompson, and David Allen Murphree.
Why was there a question mark on the end of my name?
Because, that's a good question. And then our guest today is Tom R. Lamb. I don't know if that's his middle initial. I don't know if your middle name's Allen, but we're going with it.
It's P. Patrick.
It's not in the
Thomas
moment.
Patrick.
It's not.
Like
Patrick Lamb.
Like Paul Thomas Hawk.
Mm-hmm.
How about that?
Whose brother's name is Patrick. Anyway,
it's a small world after all.
Aaron, are we good over there? Okay.
Thumbs up from Aaron.
I love that we have Aaron in today. Welcome back, Aaron. Welcome back, Cotter. So today we're going to talk about Tom's misadventures, your adventures and your misadventures in life. Because you're a very interesting man, in case you didn't know that. Did you know that?
I don't know, but, just a forewarning. Any story that I tell, I'm not guaranteeing it's the truth, but it should be.
Hey, you've listened to some episodes, right?
Yes, I have.
Yeah, okay. So you listened to Paul's episode.
Yes, I did.
Did you listen to any others?
No. Yeah, I listened to the last episode with a gentleman that was on here.
Oh, Mickey?
Yeah.
With Mickey? Okay. What did you think?
Did you watch it?
I didn't watch it, no.
Oh, okay.
You listened to it?
Yeah, I listened to some of it. I listened to all of Paul's, so.
Okay, gotcha. Okay. So do you have a recommendation ready for the end of the episode?
For who?
For us.
Everybody
to recommend to us?
Interview?
Just be thinking on it. Just something that you would recommend.
If you need one, I got about 20 of them. I'll let you one of mine.
Okay.
Yeah, he's got plenty. But, so, let's talk about this. I had a guy who's a longtime listener of the show, actually. He's been listening since day one. Is Greg Simpson.
Is it Mickey Farmer?
Greg Simpson.
Oh, okay.
And Greg Simpson came in, and we were meeting with Greg. I was actually meeting with Greg. He and I had a one-on-one meeting, and then this guy walks in and he goes, "Is it data or data?" I mean, what is it? And so Greg said, "You like my impression?"
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
Spot on.
And so Greg goes, "Well, if I'm looking at one thing, I say data. Like one column or one set of numbers, I say data. But if I'm looking at a lot of different columns and a lot of different numbers, I say data." And your response to that was?
I guess I said so. Data is the plural of data.
That's what I was about to say. Actually.
Really?
Yeah.
What do you think?
It's data.
Data.
All the way.
Data all the way?
Data. You've always been data.
Data.
Well, what about
data? No, I would never use
Okay.
data.
What about the guy on Star Trek?
What about the guy on the Goonies?
Yeah, it's data.
It's data?
It's data.
Or data?
It's data.
They say data,
Yeah,
right?
yeah. And it's Mr. Data on Star Trek.
It's Mr. Data?
Yeah. Or is it Mr.
So-
Data? Mr. Data.
It's data.
Yeah.
What'd you say it was, Tom?
Data.
Data.
Okay. What did you say?
No, you said data. You said data. No, I started.
It's both of them.
Well, I started out data to begin with, then I changed to data. I'm going back to data again, I think.
We had this conversation the other day at work. Is it route or route? If you go to Sonic and you get the really big drink, who's not a sponsor, by the way, but talk to us.
Absolutely.
Is there Route 44 or is it a Route 44? If you go down historic Route 66. Is it
I'm route.
Route? So
yeah.
you would call it Route 66?
Yeah.
I feel like route is the southern way of saying.
Well, here's the thing. So before we got the 911 addresses, my old family box was Route 1, Box 295.
Yeah.
And then, of course, we got the 911 addresses where it incorporates the actual road name now.
Yeah.
But it was always route. So I've always called it route. Route 44.
See, that's
Actually, I call it Route 44.
I didn't exist when that was around.
Yeah. It was a mess.
Yeah.
And it
that
took me a
sounds
long time.
incredibly complicated. Say that again.
Route.
You're giving
Route
away your
1.
address.
Yes.
I doubt it. Route 1, Box 295.
Yeah.
So you had 3, 4,
So
5
it
drivers.
that was your mail
Yeah.
Yeah.
route.
Yeah. Clint Thompson, Route 1, Box 295.
Yeah.
So that's interesting. They would identify the mail carrier's route that you were
Right.
on in order to send you mail.
Right.
That's interesting. Did you know that, Aaron?
Yeah, I think I was route 2. I think we were route
Yeah.
He shrugged his shoulders.
And
He's got a mic over there. I think he's scared to use it.
that's fine.
He
We don't
laugh.
want him on here. Look, when when he laughs,
It's so funny.
it
He goes up and
it goes
down.
up and down. He's gonna try to stop.
Yeah,
now he's embarrassed.
He's
gonna try to stop.
No, he's settling in. But no, he went up. He went up there a second.
We need to put the GoPro right there just so we can get an Aaron.
We do.
Aaron
Look,
cam.
he's trying not to smile. We need an angle
There it
on
is.
Aaron.
There it is.
Aaron, we love you. He can hear this.
It's Talladega also.
Yeah, Talladega, not Talladega.
I love you too.
Did he actually get in there?
Yeah,
Okay.
he did.
I always call it Dega. Go to Dega. What's go to Dega.com.
It's affectionately known as Earnhardt's home.
Well,
Yeah.
Now, if I'm just going to refer to it as Dega, I'm going to say Dega.
yeah.
But if I say the whole name, it's Talladega.
That's still wrong. It's Digga.
According to the.
If anybody from Talladega is gonna call it Talladega.
So you're going to say Digga.
Yeah.
There's no I in it though. But pecan or pecan?
Pecan.
Pecan.
Yeah. You know who calls it pecans?
Yankees.
Yankees.
Georgians.
People from Georgia.
Yeah, those idiots.
People, right? Yeah. Well, are you still bitter about? You're still bitter.
I'm still bitter.
Yeah. He's still bitter about the national championship.
And last night's basketball game, even though they won't see this for a month or whatever. But yeah, it's a national championship game.
Yeah. Are your glasses crooked?
My face is probably tilted wrong.
Look at it. Do his
Just
glasses
stop.
look crooked?
Just stop.
I'm
These
sorry.
glasses are like 9 years old. No
Look at
joke.
Tom? Tom's staring off
I
into
was
the
looking
distance.
at something.
Tom just got up and walked across
He got
the
the
room.
Tabasco sauce.
Tabasco sauce.
Now, I thought this episode was about me, but I don't know.
What's it about
I
now?
don't know what it's about now, but
How now,
I want
Brian?
to share some knowledge with people out there.
Okay.
And
That's not in the top 5, by the way. Go ahead.
it's a Tabasco. It's a.
Brand.
I met a young lady that did her thesis on Avery Island.
Really?
Yeah.
Where it's made.
And she informed me that there's a number on the bottom of every single Tabasco bottle. If you look at there.
Do I say? You mean to say the number?
Yeah.
15.
15. So every single bottle of Tabasco, each barrel is a separate barrel, individual barrel. And a taste tester, tests it and labels it. So the higher the number, the higher the spice. So if you want a hotter or milder Tabasco, open the box up at the store and check out the bottle.
Whoa.
Real? Are you serious right now?
So what's the high?
It goes up to 99.
Oh wow.
No way, really?
Yeah. So the hottest, it just depends. Every harvest is different.
That is
makes
awesome.
sense because you can't control.
Yeah.
You can't control the heat of the
No.
peppers.
Right.
It's just a natural. Well, I mean, you can.
You
But
can't.
you're
It's not going to
not
get any higher than what it possibly.
It's not gonna be exact
It's not going to
every
be like a
time.
ghost pepper. No.
So it's
Yeah.
1 to 99.
Yeah,
And that's a 15.
that's a 15. So
Tabasco is not a sponsor. If you want to sponsor us, however, we're definitely on board. Tom Lamb will get a Tabasco tattoo. He's going in. For those of you that are watching this, Clint just took some Tabasco in his mouth. You're not a good spice guy, are you?
Yeah.
Oh, can you handle it?
Yeah,
Oh,
pretty
see,
good.
I told you we should have done a spice.
I mean,
I threw around the idea of doing a hot sauce taste test for this episode.
I like Tabasco on my eggs or something, but the best, my favorite is Crystal. Like
You know, a lot of
Louisiana
Crystal.
hot sauce.
Crystal, Louisiana.
Yeah, Crystal, Texas Pete. Now, I ate some pork skins a while ago.
That's
It's
so
got
good.
the, what kind is that on?
Texas
so
Pete.
good.
No. It's,
Oh, Louisiana. That's
Yeah.
Louisiana.
yeah, now
Louisiana
they're
brand.
pretty hot, too.
Yeah.
I'm not a big fan of Louisiana. Louisiana, if you want to sponsor us, I'll change my mind.
Crystal.
So,
It's pretty vinegary, but it's
Whoever
it's
comes
good
first.
taste. All right,
a lot
so
of- a
Tom
lot of-
Lamb.
yeah, Tom. Tom Lamb.
Tom Lamb.
Go ahead, Clint. I know you got some questions lined up.
Actually, I just your history. You've got a military background, correct?
Yep.
You've been a teacher now for the last number of years as well.
Yes.
Currently, you are the JV baseball coach.
Junior high.
Junior
Junior
high.
high assistant baseball coach.
Okay, so
Yeah.
you just come from baseball
Yeah.
practice
Yeah.
or tryouts at this point.
Mm-hmm.
How's that going?
It's going great.
Okay.
It's always fun working with the younger guys. We got some 7th graders. It's hard for adjustment because they're adjusting from little league distances to high school distances. but-
Sure.
And they haven't grown. They haven't hit their growth
spurt yet, yeah.
So,
Did you see that right there?
A little bit.
When you brought it up,
Yeah.
and he knew he had to respond, he automatically went into coach talk. Coach interview. Okay, I'm
That's
a
what
coach.
we
I'm
do.
being interviewed. I'm gonna throw out this stuff that coaches throw out.
always got to be positive. Yeah.
Always positive, always generic.
Yeah, that's typically it. Now you had an interesting childhood growing up. right? Y'all, your family moved here to Alabama. You haven't lived in Alabama your entire life, right?
No, my dad was also military, so he's retired colonel from the Army. He also did, he was enlisted in the Marine Corps for 8 years, and I've got 3 brothers and 1 sister. I'm the youngest, so that's what's wrong with me, because I was spoiled. I got my butt whipped, but more than any of them. But as far as being spoiled, I think I was the most spoiled of all.
You've got a brother that teaches, don't you?
That's right. He's also retired lieutenant colonel from the Army, and he teaches at Southside, PE teacher.
We'll just right down
coaches,
the road from us, for those people that don't know. We've got some listeners all across. We've got a few listeners all across the country.
Dozens and dozens.
Tens
tens and tens.
And even international listeners in Germany. Have you ever been outside of the country in your military endeavors?
Well, yeah, I was in Baumholder, Germany. I've been to Vicenza, Italy, Saudi Arabia, Iraq for a few hours.
You were well-traveled.
I've been to South America. I haven't been
a few
hours.
hours.
To Asia or Russia or any place. I'd like to go to like Japan or
somewhere like
that.
So how were you only in Iraq for a few hours? How did that work?
Well, that was a Gulf War.
Oh, okay.
So,
Okay. I got you.
I was with the 82nd Airborne, and we were first deployed there. We got there before the Marines got there. So I don't, they got there a couple weeks after us, but so we were there I was only deployed for 7 months. Right when the Gulf War was over with, they shipped us right back home.
Yeah.
So we were pretty lucky. We didn't have any casualties. The only casualties that we had were some guys that got run over by Humvee and unloading stuff and things of that nature. We fired some shots for God and country. We took a couple of bunkers from the Iraqis. They were in pretty bad shape. Took prisoners and stuff like that. But all in all, it was pretty good. Not a good experience, nothing but it was nothing.
Catastrophic.
Yeah.
I'm glad you brought that up. What was it like fighting the Iraqis?
They were pretty beat up when we got to them. I didn't know we had the EOD with us, and some of the bunkers they had been kind of I guess I don't know. I'll try to find a better word, but booby trapped inside of their bunkers. Most of their officers had left. So by the time the ground war kicked off with the people that we encountered, so it was really disorganization. They were done.
I don't recall anything being done in Walker County.
They were really scared.
Wesley's booby trap.
Yeah. Also, that's Wesley's booby trap.
Also not a sponsor.
No context if you're not from this area.
Yeah, y'all had to explain that to me.
Yeah.
I get it now. Yeah. All right.
Well, you said booby trap.
There's a joke about a strip club.
And we were talking about data earlier, so I guess that's kind of what's in my head.
Bomb holder. You said what is that? Explain. You said what does that mean?
It's a base, and it's a bomb holder, Germany.
Bomb holder.
It's about it. There's not much you could say.
Okay.
Anybody that's been to bomb holder,
Bomb. So it's a place.
Oh, it's a place. It's not a profession.
Oh,
so it's a place. Bomb holder. Okay.
Yeah.
It's a place.
It's
I'm
a
doing
place.
this.
It's a town.
I'm doing this.
I thought you were like, I held
US
bombs.
military.
Okay.
Yeah.
They didn't know to tell me what to do with my hands, so I just held bombs.
Yeah, I spent most of my time at Fort Bragg.
Okay.
So, I spent most of my time at Fort Bragg.
North Kakalaki.
Yeah. Went down to Panama and did. So it was interesting. I wasn't there in '89 when they got rid of Noriega. I was before my time.
Okay. Yeah.
So, yeah, and after the Army, I went back to JSU. I met Paul Hawk.
Jacksonville State University.
Met Paul Hawk there.
You played baseball with Paul at JSU, right?
He played. I just was in the cage and hit most of the time. I didn't play much, but I was a color analyst for the baseball team.
You were there. Yeah.
But I was there, and
you contributed.
Yeah. It was a good experience. And then after that, I got into archaeology, cultural resource management. So I spent a long time doing that.
So you're digging up bones?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
It's not like
it's not what you see on
the
Jurassic
Discovery
Park.
Channel.
Yeah. You're not
I'm not. I'm an archaeologist, not a paleontologist.
Oh,
There's
a difference.
So I didn't dig up dinosaur bones, but and it took me all over the Southeast. Worked in that for about 17 years.
Oh wow.
It was my last job was in Oxford. And
so what made you want to take the transition from archaeology to history teacher?
Well, my wife said I wasn't going to travel anymore, and I've got 4 daughters, and she said that, you know,
you're done.
You're done. You're not going to travel. You're not going to get deployed. You know, you're not. So because she'd been with me since the earlier years, and so she didn't want me to. And you know, I agree because I stayed in Oxford for I worked on that job for 4 years. Oh, maybe 3. And I worked for a guy named Robert Perry in Pell City. So, and Perry and Associates. So I worked for him, and it was just nice being at home every night.
Yeah.
You know, and I didn't want to go back on the road because it's not very glamorous. You're staying in flea bag hotels, and you're working for pipeline. You know, you're working for, you know, anytime federal monies are used, you're working for like the pipeline, you're working for federal grant money, coal mining.
Right.
You know,
It's not a glamorous lifestyle.
No, it's not, and it's dirty, and it's digging holes for a living. And,
how much dirt is in a hole? 3 by 3 by 9 foot deep.
I don't know, but I can tell you this. I can tell you this. Everything's in centimeters or meters, you know. And what you would do in a phase 1 test, you would do a shovel test. It's 30 centimeters by 30 centimeters.
Yeah.
Okay, and you dig it down to subsoil. Okay, and that subsoil, depending on where you're at, could be anywhere from 10 centimeters all the way down to 110 centimeters. Okay, so that's phase 1, which is shovel testing. Phase 2 would be like small 1 by 1 units, 1 meter by 1 meter units. Okay, and then you would test to see if it was qualified for phase 3 testing, which is total excavation of the area. So that's when you're digging up, bringing in heavy equipment, stripping it down, and everything else.
Did you know that about him? Did you know?
Yeah,
that?
I knew every bit of that. That was a good answer.
Well, you
about
knew
that dirt in the hole.
Oh, yeah.
He nailed it.
He did. He hit
For context, there's no dirt in the hole. I found out the hard way too.
Yeah.
I didn't know.
Yeah.
Now, okay, you know, you told me this story. I've known you for, since last June.
Yeah.
So how long? I feel like I've known you way longer than that because I feel like
Because you talk.
Well, yeah, we
About
just,
9 months.
You and I just clicked.
8-9 months.
Just long enough to have
8
a baby.
9 months.
Yeah.
Okay. Labor and delivery coming up. But so you and I we do get each other. We're on the same page a lot of times. And
I think Murphy gets me more, but you know,
Yeah,
I get Murphy.
Y'all
but
are
I get shot.
y'all are definitely on the
Yeah.
same
I knew that
wavelength.
the first
I'm on
day I
an
met him.
adjacent
Yeah,
wavelength.
we fell in love the first day.
Yeah. Oh, so the
Just
labor
love
and
at first
delivery is
sight.
yours.
Yeah.
It's y'all's. It's not ours. It's y'all's.
I knew I liked him.
Yeah.
First day.
Hi, I'm Clint. I'm not a teacher, but go ahead.
But we've all coached. So there you go. There's a common thread. But you told me this story, and I don't remember why you were telling me this story. Okay, you're there in those coaches' meetings after practice and games where Tom just, for some reason, we get Tom on these spiels, and he just goes and tells these awesome freaking stories.
I don't know
What's
what
up
led
with
up
Mexico City and the monkey?
Yeah. The students always love that story too.
I'm a student. I get it.
Basically, went down there. Had a friend of mine. He was there to visit his abuelo, his grandmother.
Grandmother. Sorry.
Abuela. I'm sorry. Yeah, I didn't feminine.
A's versus
so he was
O's.
down there, and so a couple of us went down with him to stay, and thought it'd be cool adventure. So we went out to Mexico City one night, and we went to this bar. I know it's G-rated, and we went into this bar, and I looked over there, and there was a sign, for $5 you could arm wrestle a chimpanzee.
So not a monkey, a chimpanzee.
A chimpanzee.
Yeah.
Sitting up, and the chimpanzee was like sitting up on the table and everything, and he's smoking a cigarette, had it in the corner of his mouth. He didn't pull it out. He just popped it, And
so you could also teach this monkey, or excuse me, a chimpanzee, how to siphon gas out of a gas tank. Because that's how I learned how to do it myself.
That's about it. Make it sure.
Yeah.
But it wasn't a big chimpanzee either. Like you go to the zoo and there's like big males and everything. It was a female, and it wasn't big at all. It was very small. To me, I thought.
Like,
yeah.
what do we? about
I don't know, 3 feet or 2 feet. 3 feet would be too big.
We'll say 2.5.
2.5.
So, and I was like, $5. I said, I'm on this. Bear Bryant wrestled a bear. I can definitely arm wrestle a chimpanzee.
So this is American money. Like
$5.
So these people took your money, regardless of win or loss.
Yeah.
And they're going to go buy a mansion with it down in Mexico now.
No, I don't know. But
I
got interested about finding a wallet.
Hey, Bear Bryant died today, January 26th. Go ahead.
What, really?
Yeah, this is the date of his death. Go ahead.
That's a
Kobe Bryant too.
Yeah, I'm so glad we're talking about death.
Okay, well, go ahead with your story. All right.
So I was like, hey man, let's go. And I was like, fired up, and I had Luongo, my buddy, he's Italian. His parents owned a pornographic. They own like a pornographic
This story
company.
gets better every time I hear it.
Every time I talk about Luongo, he owned his mom and dad owned a pornographic company in California. Like they did.
Did they produce it or just distribute it?
They distributed it.
Okay.
So they weren't in it. Or,
they just sold it.
Yeah. And Luongo was like,
so many jokes
you got
here.
this, And so I threw my hand up there. I'm like, let's go. And I put it down there. And when that chimp grabbed my hand,
you knew it.
You know what I mean? And I felt them hairy little nubs.
Were you arm wrestling a midget?
It's just like all this confidence just flowed out of my body, into my toes.
I ain't got it.
And I was just like, and I looked in these dark black eyes, like shark eyes. And it had me by the hand. And I was thinking, this thing could just rip my arm off right now. And he was like, go, and I was like, and I went as hard as I could. And it was basically, if I put my hand up against a brick wall and pushed,
it wasn't going.
It wasn't going nowhere. And that monkey sat there and puffed. And looked at the, I guess the trainer, looked at him, and he like nodded, and he was like, wham! And I got my hand back, and everybody's laughing at me. The whole bar, and it's basically just to trick up the old gringos, make some money, which, I can always say I arm wrestled a chimpanzee.
That's one of the best stories I've ever heard. And there are a lot of stories that you have that are like that. I think you may be the most interesting man we've ever interviewed.
You said that about everybody.
I've got to keep hyping y'all up.
I know.
I got to make it sound like we interviewed some really special people.
At that place you were at in Mexico, they didn't have a rodeo, did they?
No.
At midnight?
But I think I know what you're talking about. But I had a chance to ride a bull one time over in Ohatchee. And I told you about, and that didn't work out because I got up next to that bull, and it was angry and it was huge. And you really don't know how. I have so much respect for those people that ride those bulls because I was like 20. This was when I was at JSU playing baseball because one of the baseball players rode bulls.
Yeah, you're young and dumb. You're like, I take on the world.
And exactly. I was young and dumb, and I was like, I ain't getting on that thing.
Yeah.
There ain't no way. And.
But you almost did. Did you know anybody that did that night, that rode that bull?
Oh, yeah, the guy that played baseball.
Yeah, that usually does it.
Yeah. He's like, just jump on. It's no big deal. You just get flipped off. I'm like, are you kidding me? That thing's coming after you.
Yeah. Yeah.
One time they step on you and that's it. I saw this one, that's, yeah.
I've seen 8 seconds. I know what happens.
Yeah.
Is 8 seconds up there?
You talking about the movie?
Yeah.
No, it's not.
Okay.
Independence Day, Charlotte's Web.
Okay.
Some action movie.
Sister Act, that's a good one.
Sister Act. Home Alone, Dante's Peak, Con Air.
You and Hawk, y'all real tight
Yeah.
at Jackson. Y'all hung out a lot.
They've got some really good stories.
He was a senior. And we hooked up together because he was ex-Marine and I was, ex-Army and we
was brothers, by the way.
So we would hang out.
He was DJ Brothers.
And
brothers, yeah.
Paul, and Paul's just that personality. It's hard not to.
It's hard not to like Paul Hawk.
Yeah,
it is.
So
he's special on numerous wavelengths.
So and he knows everybody, man, and he
does.
remembers everybody's name. I played at Southern Union, junior college baseball, and he knows the people on the team that I played with, and I don't even remember.
Yeah,
and he didn't even play with us. He knows them, and I told him today. I'm like, how do you know?
But
and
he
I think
can't
it's my
remember
ADHD.
to check his email.
I think it's my ADHD that keeps me from remembering names.
Yeah.
Because you're in the now, you're not in the past.
Yeah, I mean, like you got to really make impression on me for me to remember who you are, and it's got to be like, you know.
Do you know that kid's name?
Aaron.
Okay.
Hey, Ron,
Okay.
you know, he's a great.
Do you
kid,
have
man.
Aaron?
Yeah, I have him in my class.
Oh, do you? Do you have him, Aaron? You have Coach Lamb?
Yeah.
He lived.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
He stopped everything he was doing and leaned in the microphone and went, "Oh yeah,
The
You like Coach Lamb, Aaron?
oh yeah."
Oh, definitely, man.
what else is he gonna say? I don't like him.
Yeah, what's he gonna say? Is he gonna say you don't like him and threaten getting beaten up here?
Yeah. Yeah.
By
Be
Coach
all right.
Lamb?
Because it sounds like Lamb would actually beat him up.
Yeah.
You know, Lamb, what would you do to earn some income while you were at JSU? What was your revenue stream like in college?
Oh, I DJ'd. I DJ'd up at the
Multiple events or?
Yeah, I mean, I DJ weddings. I DJ fraternity houses. I didn't like spin it like like
Waka
mix
waka.
and waka waka. I just
Yeah.
put like CDs in, and then I worked down at City Limits, upstairs. Upstairs, like they had the dance part downstairs, and then they had the upstairs, which was like rock and roll and stuff like that. And I DJ'd all that, and then later hours, like strippers would come in from the working all night, over there at I don't know the name of the place. It was there in Anniston. Dang. But it was like halfway to Jacksonville, in between Jacksonville. But they would come in, man, and they would tip like $100 to me. You know what I'm saying? And play whatever, they give me a CD and play that, and they would wind down. And so, I mean, my wife knew about it. I mean, she's like, yeah, I mean, I wasn't doing anything wrong. They
You
would
were
just,
making
and
money.
there were strippers,
I was working.
They would
You were
come in
making
and they would
money.
they would just sit down. But man, they tip well. And then I worked, did bounced a little bit.
Ooh,
Did you ever get into a fight?
Yeah, any cool bouncing
Yeah,
stories?
any cool bouncing stories?
I mean, I got.
He is the most interesting man.
Yeah.
in the interview.
No, I mean, what was the name of it? It was right across the street from Brothers Bar. If Paul was here,
He'd know.
he would know. And then the galley, which was right around, see, everything was on the square. And Jacksonville State then was crazy back then.
Yeah,
you're
Paul
talking about
said,
93 or
like
94, 95, 96.
Sirens were running all night.
Yeah.
Every day. Sirens
Um,
were running. People never went home. Is what he said. People stayed in Jacksonville and they hung out and they partied and had a good time.
had a guy hit me in the back of the head with a pool cue. But I got hit in the head with a bottle. And people don't understand, bottles don't usually break.
No, that's a Hollywood movie trick.
Yeah. So I got some lumps and bruises, got some stuff like that. But most of the time, I had some big guys working with me. So.
Did you ever put it on somebody specific that you remember? Like, yeah, I beat the crap out of that one guy.
I plead the fifth.
Okay. Okay.
Did you ever just drink coffee all night and say, no matter what you do, just be nice?
No.
Okay.
No,
I'm thinking of Roadhouse. never mind.
Great movie. Patrick Swayze.
we got in some altercations. Me and Paul Hall was and
Hold on, against each other or with each
no,
other?
no.
Y'all were always on the same
not
side.
with Paul. I was most likely with his roommate, Mark Adams, and I shouldn't even mention people's names. I forgot about that because some people probably have like lives.
Yeah.
It's like those people you grow up with. You call them Pee Wee and Egghead.
Yeah.
You see them at the grocery store and you're like, hey, Egghead. Like.
Yeah, nobody's called me that 25 years.
Yeah, I'm not Egghead anymore. It's Philip.
Yeah.
Hey, when you were a bouncer over there, was the big guy from France that played football? Was he? He was a bouncer too. Did you ever work with him?
I don't
Who's
know.
I can't remember his name. Huge.
No, I would know a French
Defensive
guy.
lineman, I think. I can't remember.
Yeah. But
Did you ever know Ray Crump?
yeah, he was at Brothers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you ever see him?
Yeah, I saw him here, and I recognized him, but he was also probably a couple years older than me. Not really older than me, but I was later getting into college because of going in the Army. And but yeah, I've seen him around and I know him, and I'm sure if we ran around the same thing, but he was a couple of years older. He's Paul's, with Paul that era. There were some wild times up at Brothers. Those stumps with the carpet on them. You remember those?
Yeah, I went there one time.
Yeah, that was regular. Kind of like where everybody knows your name. Cheers. But it's wild times up there.
So you had fun in college, is what you're saying?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that's why I went.
Yeah.
You know,
Because
You don't need no
the
stinking
first time-
degree.
Yeah, the first time I went, when I went back the second time to get my certification to teach and everything like that, it was business because, I had the kids in school and they're
Oh,
like,
yeah.
well, why you got to be, Daddy?
Yeah.
I'm like, well, because I'm not very good in math.
Yeah, it's hard to get on the kids for not having good grades when you yourself don't have good grades. I say good in retrospect, but
You've got 4 daughters, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I tell you, that was very, while this is on my mind, it was very awkward going back to school, like in your late 30s and early 40s. And you're going in there, and the first day of school, I was had a little anxiety going because I was like, man, all these kids around here.
Right.
And I go in my first class, and I have to take this art appreciation class
yeah.
for education. And so I go in that class, and this kid comes up to me, and he's like, hey, can I go to the bathroom?
No way, are you
Yeah,
serious?
I'm serious. And I said, yeah, man, knock yourself out. He says, all right. So he leaves, and when he comes back, the instructor's in there. It's a woman, and she's up there teaching. I'm sitting in the front row, and he walks in, he looks at me, looks at her, and he's all confused. But
Anybody
so,
call you like Pop or old timer or anything like that?
No, I did have an incident where it was raining. This was about 2 weeks after starting back, and it was the same building, same class, and I was wearing Crocs. And I come walking in.
Trying to fit in.
And, hey, I come walking in, and I slipped, and I fell right on my butt right there in the middle, and everybody's going through, and this girl was like, oh, my God, are you okay? I'm fine.
You okay, mister?
Leave me alone.
You remind me of my papa.
Yeah. Oh, my God. Yeah, she's like walking with me,
I'm fine.
Yeah.
I'm a man.
It was
Wearing Crocs.
So, yeah, getting out of the freshman classes for education was really,
Yeah.
I needed that because once I got into education, I had older people. And
Yeah.
so you in a mix, So yeah, the kid, it was freshman classes are kind of like high school,
Yeah.
It's kind of being back in high school, sitting there, and I'm older than the teacher. Yeah, it felt awkward.
Yeah.
You would just stand up and say, shut up, lady, I know more than you.
No,
Oh, okay.
I was always pretty.
I want to be that guy. I want to go out to school like when I'm 60 and just like stand up and tell the professor, like, shut up, lady, I know more than you.
I did go off one time. I kind of lost my temper in my math class, and
Nobody uses this junk in real life.
Well, no,
I've been in real life for 25 years.
it was hey,
Killed Aaron.
it was some of the kids were like talking and everything, and I was like, "Will you shut up? I'm trying to listen to the professor." Guys looked at me, and they just looked at me like, "What?" And then the professor, he came to me after the class, and he was like, "Look," he was Nigerian, Mr. Lam, we can't have that. We can't have that in my classroom. You can't be like that. These are young kids. They talk. I'm like, all right. Yeah. So I'm thinking about not allowing you back in this classroom.
Are you serious?
Yeah, man. I started panicking. I was like, because I'm on a schedule. They can't. You know what I mean? But we worked it out, and I knew then I needed to just be quiet, shut my mouth. So that's what I did. Got through it.
I had when I was at Auburn, I had a Turkish guy. He was my math teacher. And I took the most basic math I could because, I was getting my history education degree.
Because you don't use this real math in real life. I knew it was going to get him.
Yeah, that's why you did it.
That's why I did
Yeah.
it.
Hey, Aaron, you
Hey,
okay?
Uh,
He leaned over to the mic.
He's not ready to go on live.
He's not. Are you okay? Seriously? He can't answer.
Look, you don't have to let everybody behind, you're right. Just
Just
thumbs
throw us
up.
the thumbs up.
Thumbs up. Bud.
Okay,
There
he's
you go.
good. He's dying laughing.
There you go. Asthmatic. Asthmatic Aaron.
And I talked to him one day after class. I was talking to him, asking him where he was from, because accent kind of thing. I'm like, hey, I want to get to know this guy. He's obviously
Not from around here.
The first day, y'all, he came in there. He was more nervous than all of us. He was like shaking. His voice was quivering. And I said, so one day after class, I was asking some questions about the syllabus, and then I said, so is this your first class you ever taught, or how many classes have you? He said, no, this is the first one I've ever taught. I've only been here for 2 months. I said, oh, at Auburn? He said, in the United States. This is the first time I've ever been here, and this is all in broken English.
Mhm.
And
in Auburn, Alabama.
yeah, and he's like, I'm living with. I didn't really understand I assumed it was some sort of hostel or something based off of how he described it. He had like 4 roommates. I'm like, oh, in like an apartment. He's like, no, in my room, and then there's 4 others in another room. And I'm just going, oh my gosh, this guy. And I think he was a TA. He was a GA.
Mhm.
What class is this?
It was
Math 98.
math. No, it was 100 level. It was or 1,000 level math. It wasn't remedial. It wasn't remedial. Thought I needed it, but I didn't.
Well, that's my fear of, like, if I were to teach a college class or something, because you're talking about, I took a World War II class, and it's all older people
Yeah.
in that class, and they, thought or probably did, or some of them knew as much as what the teacher knew, because everybody's a World War II buff, or thought they did, so you really got to know your stuff.
Right.
Yeah.
Like you talking about that guy teaching that class, being nervous about it, that would be.
Well, he was nervous just from the language barrier perspective. And just being in a new country, and man, imagine coming from Turkey to Auburn, Alabama. A very southern, because Auburn, even though it is a college town, it's still very rooted in its state and where it is located in the middle of nowhere. And that's got to be a huge culture shock.
And then driving through downtown with toilet paper hanging from all the trees,
And you're
trying to
going,
figure it out.
What are these people doing?
Yeah.
Yeah, that don't happen a whole lot right here lately. But
Well, this basketball season has happened quite a lot.
I don't want to talk about it.
Roll Tide.
And there it is. So you've been all across the world. You've done obviously a lot of interesting things. What's been the hardest thing for you to kind of like let go from what you were to what you've done now? Like the thing that you miss the most about all of the, I guess, adventures that you've had in your past.
Well, I mean, I get it from coaching. It's the camaraderie, with the people. There's in the Army, you're living every day together and working together. And same way in archaeology, you're working on crews and teams and a lot of different type of people, not normal. You know what I mean? Not the normal set of people. Like
Right.
people in art, people that say, "Hey, I'm gonna be an archaeologist," about as crazy as person. Hey, I'm gonna be a professional bass fisherman.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They got to have something about them. And I think I get a lot of that out of coaching, and teaching and education. So, but yeah, I mean, and I like to travel. I like to see new places. So I kind of miss that, just staying in the same place, not really doing the same thing, but just staying in the same surroundings. See, because I'm kind of like a person, I like to live uncomfortable. I don't like to be comfortable. It's one of the reasons why I kind of moved over here, and Paul Hawk called me, but, and I love the Asheville area because, I drove through here, and I knew there was 2 places I wanted to either coach and teach was either Ranburne and or Asheville, because I fell in love with the area, and Gallant, it's a beautiful area. But I like to mix things up, and I felt like I got too comfortable at my old location where I was just comfortable where I was at. There's no spark of that
Yeah,
new
the magic,
thing.
the magic gets gone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if that's just kind of how I am. I mean, I'm kind of strange because I give myself a lot of anxiety for it too. It'd be a lot easier. My life would have been a lot easier if I would have just stuck to, doing, one thing or not going into archaeology, but and kind of went into education then. I always think about that. I'm like, man, I'd be close to retirement or, and I'd have a lot more coaching experience and things like that because it's kind of like starting over.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But there's the newness of that as well that makes it exciting too. I mean, it's, it makes it scary in a sense, but it also makes it very exciting too. So, I mean, it's catch-22 on everything, really.
Yeah, so I mean, it's like learning everything over.
Mm.
As far as coaching and playing, it's two different things. I mean, playing is easy. Coaching is you got to know every single position. Then you got to show people how to do that.
Right.
So, it's easy to do it, but it's hard to have that patience and that time to show someone. I mean, like we had a kid the other day. I said, well, throw to your cutoff man. And then I thought to myself, I said, hey, do you know what the cutoff man is? And he goes,
I had no
nope.
idea. Yeah.
Hmm.
And once I explained it to him, he's like, oh, yeah. But the terminology itself,
Sure.
confused him.
Yeah.
So, it's a process.
Yeah. That is real interesting. And like yesterday, we were at a wrestling meet, and it was senior night. It was here. And I can't remember who was wrestling. I just remember there were some basketball players behind us because it's county tournament week, and they weren't playing yesterday. They'd played the day before, and I think it was I can't remember who, but anyway, this basketball player's watching these two wrestlers go at it, and our wrestler is on his back, and the opposing wrestler has him. He's basically setting up a cradle. He's trying to run a cradle on him, and this basketball player goes, "Yeah, right there. Let's go right there. Let's go, baby." And then I'm sitting like I'm on the bench, and I'm sitting next to our heavyweight, and he the heavyweight turns around and he looks at him. He goes, "That's not," and then he's just like, "What? Forget it." And he's like, and I said, "What? Were you going to explain it to him?" He said, "Yeah, but how do you explain that to him?" But it goes back to that whole thing that you were saying. It's easy to do, hard to do, and then explain. And that player had no idea what a cradle was, what he was trying to set up there, that opposing wrestler on our kid, and what the goal was there. Obviously, the goal was a pin, but how to achieve that pin, what to do if you can't get the pin, how to get the takedown, the points, all that good stuff. And so it's interesting to look at it from that perspective. That is hard. That's something that we've all done. It's something that, we all do because all of us in one way or another, the three of us are in education full time. He's in education as a coach. And so that's interesting. It's hard to kind of do that sometimes because you just kind of want them to just do it.
Mm-hmm.
But how do you make them do it when they don't know how to do it?
Right.
How do you explain it to them in a way that makes sense to them?
That's right.
And that's hard. But, all right, let's get to our recommendations.
Hold on. Before we do that, I
Okay.
do want to touch on Coach Slim's tattoos. He's got one here that's got
A full sleeve.
yeah. I mean, it goes up. It's a lot of military stuff.
Yeah.
Now that one on your right, you've got the shield, basically the insignia of your
The 325.
the 325th Infantry, right?
Yeah.
And
First at 325.
and
first,
it's
okay.
their motto was
let's go.
"Let's go." That's their motto,
Yeah.
and that's your motto.
That explains a lot now.
Yeah.
Okay, I got it.
Every day at practice, he's
Yeah.
whether he's in the mood or not, he's gonna
So let's go.
let's go.
It helps me
And
get in the mood.
one knee comes up, the other stays down, and his arms crossed like this. Let's go, let's go.
And the other is the symbol from the Gadsden flag.
No, actually,
Well-
this is from Join or Die is a Benjamin Franklin first political cartoon in American history, and it's from the French and Indian War, in which it was from the Albany Plan, which he tried to get the all the colonies to join together to fight the French and Indians,
Okay.
and it failed and it didn't work. But the importance of it is this: it failed, yes, but 20 years later, the colonies would come together to fight a common foe, and that would
Right.
be,
And there are elements of the Albany Plan in the modern day United States. It basically it was like, hey, here's an idea for unification, not necessarily as an independent entity at that time, but unification for defense and taxation and that kind of thing. And some of those ideas they would take and alter, and it would turn into at first the Articles of Confederation, then the Constitution, right?
Yeah.
So it's like a precedent for those things.
Yeah.
And
Then my tattoo also goes all the way up, and that's my dad. That's a picture of my dad.
I don't think I've ever seen it that far up.
Yeah. So that was my
Look,
dad.
it's got lamb right there on
Yeah, see
the.
that?
That's
Yeah,
really
so-
really cool. My
so
head's in the way.
My dad.
If we had actual camera guys, we'd zoom in on that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we don't have. My head was in the way.
So
I apologize.
He passed away about 4 years ago or 3 years ago. He was, he was my hero. He did 3 tours in Vietnam and was in the Korean War as a Marine Corps private. He did a great job raising us.
So he lived and breathed the military, the U.S. military.
Yeah, I mean, I've got all my brothers. We all served. I mean, I've got a brother that's a West Pointer.
Really?
Yeah. And I've got two brothers. Well, my brother's a West Pointer is a doctor, and he got out of the Army after 12 years. And I've got another brother that's a retired lieutenant colonel from the aviation. So, and then my other brother, Mike, which teaches Southside.
Fixed wing?
Yeah, fixed wing. So he retires lieutenant colonel from the infantry. So we're a big military family. Dated all the way back to the Civil War. So Lambs have been serving since World War I, and didn't have anybody. Probably had cousins. And so I don't know the research on that, but no direct family in World War II. But had a great grandfather that was in World War I. So, and then had a great grandfather. This is no lie. That was in the 14th Tennessee Cavalry. I think it's 14th Tennessee Cavalry. I know he surrendered with. Don't want to run into it, but he surrendered down in Centinel, Alabama. He's part of Forrest, Nathan Bedford Forrest. When Forrest surrendered in Selma, he was a supply sergeant, like what they call a fifth sergeant. He was a supply sergeant. He surrendered in Centinel. He's part of that Forrest's unit. Huh. And that was my dad's grandfather.
Wow.
So, and the way that worked out was like my dad, his father was like 65, and his mother was like 21.
Yeah.
And then, so there was a big age difference between them. She, that was her sugar daddy.
I was about to say there were a lot of
different social.
There were a lot of veterans though, Confederate and otherwise, that
for the pension.
They would marry young women for the pension.
Young women would marry them because it would help them out.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Like people needed help. And sometimes it was like that. It wasn't.
So it wasn't uncommon to see that back then.
That Confederate widow, she just died like
right?
10 years ago. Yeah. Probably 15.
Yeah.
It was in Alabama, and then they found another one in Arkansas, I think. But then,
did they really?
Yeah, it hadn't been that long ago. Yeah.
That's crazy.
Murphree, you've been very kind of silent this whole.
Well, I'm just like Lamb. I was thinking I'm like Lamb. I don't like to get comfortable in my job either.
Yeah.
So, I like to move around a lot too.
So I don't know what the context was. I think it was his planning period. Somebody walked in on Murphree the other day, and it was the end of the period, and they walked in, and the bell had just was just ringing.
A student?
And they a teacher, and they walk into his room. And there's nobody in there other than him. It's just him. And he immediately stands up and goes, "All right, now, that was a good class. Y'all be good. We'll see you tomorrow. Don't forget to do your homework."
I call roll, too.
And there's nobody there. Nobody's in there. It's just him. And so
let's put it in context, because we're virtual right now.
No,
that wasn't virtual.
But think about the legacy.
I think he was on his planning period.
Think about the legacy that he's created with all the kids that he taught in this community.
You have no idea how many people listen to this podcast just because of him.
Yeah.
You got to teach them. Whoever's there, you got to teach them. There was just one there.
But what if there's none?
Still teach. You got to get after it.
Yeah. And
it's the same.
Yeah.
It's just you teach like you usually teach the wall. Just like you usually do.
Like you usually do. Because nobody's listening anyway.
Exactly.
Sometimes I feel
gotta get after it, man.
I do too. It's like, okay, these kids are just going through the motions. They don't care. But somebody told me, Ron told me that you were making them watch Carl Azus, and you couldn't figure out how to connect your laptop to the TV, so you just turn it on your iPad and you put it up on the thing. On you
probably did, yeah. Carl who?
Azus. CNN 10.
Oh, I never heard of that person. We used to watch the news. We used to watch the news till the board cut me off.
Yeah, I remember when I was in your class, we'd watch the news every morning. We had to do a current event.
Yeah, that was good. That's a good way to start every day.
Yeah, I was always well informed.
Yeah, got cut off though.
Yeah, they cut us off. Are you bitter about it?
Yeah, I am. What if something's going on one day? We need to see historical event.
What? Like? Okay, were you doing that on 9/11?
Yeah.
So you saw it as it developed
I don't.
on 9/11.
Yeah, we watched. I don't want anything like that to happen again.
Absolutely no.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, we watched it from the. Somebody told us the plane had hit, so I turned it on. and We saw the second plane when it hit.
So you weren't watching. You weren't doing current events and just.
No, we
happened
weren't
to-
doing the current events. We just turned the TV on because it's something, and you need to be able to.
Yeah, that's
If
that's how we
something
were.
like that is happening, you need to be able to do that. I mean, I think if I've been teaching for 25 years or 28, I think I know. Should be able to turn the TV on, and turn it off.
Yeah, that's a byproduct of.
So anyway,
That's. I completely relate to you. I think that's a byproduct of where
Yeah,
we are.
I think
in
I can
education,
handle. I
but
think I can handle this. How about
They
just
don't
let me
trust
do
us.
it when I
Yeah, they don't
wanna do it?
trust us to handle even the simplest thing anymore.
but they
which is
trust
sad.
you with the future of our great nation.
Well, that's what they tell y'all. That's
Yeah.
what they tell the parents. But in
Yeah.
reality, they don't care, and they want to control how we work. And they're just there to say that they do stuff, just say that they do stuff.
Yeah.
Shut it down.
But yeah. So back to our.
Of course, I was getting it
recommendations.
illegally, but they still shut it down.
It was illegal, but they shut it down.
They shut it down.
What do we got? What do we recommend? I've got my recommendation.
I've got mine.
Go ahead.
And I asked earlier when this is going to premiere. So unfortunately, by the time you hear this, it's already taken place. But I'm going to recommend the WWE Royal Rumble.
Here we go.
Here we
Spaghetti?
go. And spaghetti.
Spaghetti,
Yeah. Yeah. So the Royal Rumble is a yearly event where it's a 30-man over-the-top rope event, and the winner gets a title shot at WrestleMania. I don't care about any of that anymore like I used to, but usually the Royal Rumble, they will bring back some older guys, and it's really a good time. You know, they bring up some guys from other wrestling companies, older guys that you haven't seen in a minute, and they kind of debut some new guys sometimes too. So it's gonna be a good thing. I'm looking forward to it this Saturday.
That's awesome. I'm going in a completely different direction.
Really, I wouldn't
Yeah.
have thought that.
Yeah, because I'm a huge wrestling fan.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I am not that kind of wrestling though. So, but mine is seriously in like the polar opposite direction. The song is "The Night Is Still Young" by Nicki Minaj. It's an incredible throwback song to my youth. I don't recommend it because I listen to it frequently, but I recommend it to you because I like the state of mind that it constructs.
Never heard of it.
Never heard of it. Well, I'm gonna play it for you once we get done.
Okay.
There's no microphones on. You're gonna hate
I'm sure I'll enjoy it.
Yeah.
WWE Royal Rumble. Where is this? Where are they doing this?
I'm not sure. I don't know where the location of it is this year. That's how out of it I am. But I'm looking for I'll always watch the Royal Rumble and I'll watch WrestleMania every year. Just
Okay. And you
because
said
it's events.
spaghetti?
Yeah.
Spaghetti, 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 spaghetti. People who's that comedian that people will get that know that comedian.
Yeah.
The one who is Chappelle. Yeah. If you watch Dave Chappelle, you'll
Dave
understand.
Chappelle is hilarious.
Spaghetti, 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 spaghetti. You'll understand that.
Well,
Killed Eric.
Dave Chappelle.
well, Clint and Hammy are going to watch the Royal Rumble and eat
spaghetti.
That's what we're going to do.
If I enjoyed spaghetti, I'd be there, but
I love
I'm not a
spaghetti.
big spaghetti guy.
Thank you.
Must
Love
be.
that.
And since we got this hot sauce out here, this wasn't one of my recommendations, but the top five.
Well, hold on. Do you want to say this for when we do a hot sauce episode? Because that sounds amazing.
It does, yeah.
Okay.
All right, let's save that. Let's
Okay,
table
not
that
a sponsor, any of them.
one. Not yet.
Yeah.
All right.
Some more.
Holler back at us.
All right. My recommendation is Duluth Clothing.
Duluth Trading
Duluth.
Company.
Yeah, Duluth Trading.
It's very expensive,
Well, it's good stuff.
but we want you to sponsor us.
That's where my suit come from, Union suit. And
Oh, really?
Yeah, my sister was listening to the podcast and heard us talking about it, so she bought me one for my birthday. That's where
That's
it come
cool,
from.
isn't it?
That's very
And
cool.
it's a good one too. And I got some
Shout out
Duluth
to you, Terry.
shirts. Yeah,
Miss Montgomery.
yeah, I got some Duluth shirts. Even the socks I got on right now. Duluth, it's good stuff.
Now, did y'all reconcile about that 45 that you broke? Have y'all come to terms with
I think
that?
she got a new one. Yeah,
Okay.
not too long after that.
Okay.
But then I also want to shout out to Carrie Hare.
Absolutely.
she's lit-
She,
and-
she's a new listener.
And also, I think another teacher around here, Melina Chavis.
Who's
I
that?
think she's going to start listening.
Oh,
so shout out
really?
to her, too.
Start
Yeah,
listening.
Don't know who you are, Melina, but
Yeah.
shout out to you.
yeah, 2 shout outs.
2 shout outs. Any other shout outs?
Hammy.
Does Hammy listen?
Absolutely.
Does he really?
I
Shout
have
out to
no
you,
idea.
Hammy.
I have no idea.
Spaghetti.
Well, there we go. Spaghetti. Spaghetti.
I just can't get it out of my head.
Did you do a recommendation?
Yeah, I think it did. Duluth
That
Trading
was
Company.
Duluth.
Duluth.
There
And
you go.
I'll do spaghetti too if you want.
I zoned out. I'm sorry. You did. I'm sorry.
Big Tommy John, what's your recommendation?
Hey, watch Outlaw Josie Wells.
Mm-hmm.
It's a great
Nice.
movie.
It is a great movie.
Um,
Hadn't seen it, but it's good, I'm sure.
it is.
Clint Eastwood movie, man. It's
It
gonna
is
be
a
good.
great movie.
Clint Eastwood Western.
Bose, head or
Yeah, you got the.
ear,
You're
yeah, I
big
got
on
those
that
for
now.
Christmas. Bose head.
Yeah, I got some of those
Odds
too.
are about
I got some of
odds.
those.
They have different sizes.
And I was watching you put yours in, so now I
Yeah.
put mine in that way. Stick it in there and turn it. Is that what you do?
Yeah, and it locks up under there.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Does it work for you?
Yeah, I like
It
it.
does. Yeah.
Yeah. Now that he taught me how to.
You gotta read the instructions because
I
I
did.
felt the same way. Like I sit there for an hour and I'm like, these things don't fit. And I've tried every size. I got 3 different sizes.
Yeah.
Then I read the instructions and you gotta turn it at a 45-degree angle and then cock it back and then it locks.
Yeah. Yeah, I didn't read any instructions.
Yeah.
I just
Just pull
Watch
in
you
the
do it.
ears and it
You
just
pulled a
falls
straight up
out.
man and just threw the instructions away.
Yeah.
Just put them in. Yeah.
Yeah.
I probably would have done the same.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Clint, I didn't even talk to you before we started this podcast. Did you know that? Did you really think about that? Like I
No.
walked in, everything was already set up. I walked in, I was on the phone. I walked back out. I walked back in, hung up, sat down. We basically
pushed
pressed
play,
record,
yeah.
and now we're actually talking. So how you been?
I'm good.
Good. I hadn't seen you in a while in
Yeah.
person. I've talked to you.
Well, I saw you
But-
Sunday
Really?
for Bulldog
That feels
TV.
like a long time ago.
It does, doesn't it?
Feels like a long time ago.
It's been a long week. It's been a long Monday
It has.
for the last
It has.
3
We've
days.
got to teach again tomorrow.
Roll Tide. And War Eagle. And War Eagle. I throw it out
I
there.
mean, by the time the people hear this, we probably won't be the #1 team in the country anymore. So
And Bruce Pearl may not be the head coach. He might be moved
I
off
think-
to Louisville.
I think he's playing the game to get more money.
If
And I think we should
if
pay him more
if
money.
I was an Auburn fan, that's exactly what I'd say too.
I think we should pay him more money too.
I think he
No
deserves it.
comment.
So, you know who else is supposedly in that talk in that mix?
Rick Pitino. Is it really?
No,
Oh, okay.
that'd be hilarious.
It would be.
Nate Oates.
Really?
Yeah.
I think that's I don't know. Given the state of Louisville basketball right now, I think that's a downgrade.
Well, they're
right
still
now.
under investigation.
Yeah.
There are
so
people
that's-
out there that have been completely
that's a
turned off
no.
by sports talk.
Yeah. So there's a no.
Yeah.
Hey, Troy Aikman's going to Amazon too.
Yeah, he is.
You know.
He's going to do the Amazon broadcasts because Amazon's getting into broadcasting NFL. Anyway, so this has been a great podcast, Tom. Thanks for coming on, man.
Appreciate it.
I
Yeah.
mean, we've been wanting
Been
to do
an
this
honor.
for a while.
Yeah.
Seriously, we tried to get you and Paul on, scheduling conflict, couldn't make it happen. So
I'm just happy to be here with you guys and
I would love for
Coach Murphy.
I would love for all of us to be here with Hawk and just let them two just talk.
I just tell
just
stories
talk.
because there were so many times
Like
that
I
I've
would
been
turn the
with
microphone
them.
off and just sit in the floor, cross-legged and just look up.
There's so many times that I've been with them and they'll start talking to each other and stories will just come out of the conversation because one will jar a memory from the other and vice versa, and they'll just bounce off each other, and it's great. It's really awesome.
Paul can't remember where his car keys are, but he can remember what he was doing 20 years ago. So.
Can't remember to give me back my movies.
I don't know. He'll come after and get some. Yeah,
Yeah,
he'll get some coffee from you too.
and won't ever give it back.
I was amazed my first month of school that he came in there every single day,
Every
every single day and got coffee, which I'm
Every
not going
day.
to ever turn him down. I mean, he's, I'll buy him box after box. He's welcome, but I was pretty amazed. I would say this, he did pay me back. He gave me a whole box of
What?
McCafe, and I know
He didn't do that for
and
him.
he
didn't do that.
actually, because then he didn't have any creamer. So he always come in for my creamer. But he brought me in he says, here's you some extra creamer. I got you. So then I was like, that's pretty cool. But then I was looking behind his desk, and obviously it was a 3-pack. There's probably nothing left but a 3-pack. So he just went ahead and bought that 3-pack, and he said, hey, I'm going to hook
Yeah, I'm gonna go
I'm
ahead
gonna
and pay
hook
you
my
back.
boy Blue up. Absolutely blue.
Non-dairy creamer or dairy creamer?
Non-dairy.
Okay, so the powder stuff.
Yeah.
It keeps better. I get that.
Yeah. I have a little bit of sugar in mine too. I like a little cream and sugar, but
I like mine
drink
black,
It, I can drink
like
it
I like
black.
my
I
women.
can drink it anyway. It don't matter.
He's supposed
So
to stop
you're the
drinking
only one that
coffee
heard that,
too.
Aaron, that's why
He's
you
not
heard
supposed to be
it.
drinking
Okay.
coffee right now.
Hey, we could also do. I could do a show. Me and Murphy get in here and talk about Civil War and talk some stuff, man.
Well, hold
I know
on.
you
Hold on.
can.
First
Reenacting.
thing.
Don't
first
think
thing.
that I couldn't. I mean,
Yeah.
heck,
Talking
I
about,
taught
you
history.
talking about war between states?
There you go.
Yeah,
There
war
you go.
between the states,
War of Northern Aggression.
There's
Yeah.
all kinds of
War of
different,
Southern Independence, all that stuff.
you know.
We're gonna get flagged for racism or something.
Sometimes I think he's just when he questions me, he's like, does he know what he's talking about?
Nah, I sucker knows
You
his
already
stuff,
know.
man.
He does.
He knows his stuff. He knows a lot more than what I know.
I mean, y'all
He knows
both.
stuff.
Y'all both. Well,
I had
we
a
won't get into
great-
that, but
I mean, I know y'all closing, but I had a great professor. I think it was Dr. Williams. I don't know. I had a great professor at Jacksonville State I took military history with, and I took military history because I thought that I was in the military and I knew a lot about it. And I wrote a paper on Shiloh, and I got a C on it, and I went to talk to him about it. He was an old crusty dude, man, graduated from the Citadel.
Crusty.
You know,
James Thompson.
He'd been teaching history for 30-something
No
years,
relation.
you know, and he goes way back, and he looked at me. He goes, "Mr. Lamb, why don't you read a book before you open your mouth?" You know.
Wow.
And I was a prideful kid back then, you know. But then it really struck me because he gave it to me straight, and that's all you can ask for in life is somebody to give it to you straight. Because who was it? They said that you know, the kindest thing you can do to somebody is to be
Slap 'em.
to be truthful with them.
Yeah, truthful.
So, yeah,
I mean-
and after that, I started reading books, and I just got kind of on a roll, and then I got to a point where everything else was just regurgitated crap.
Right.
And then you can only really what you could learn from is like diaries and
Right.
stuff like
Primary
that.
source documents.
Primary
yeah.
source documents, and I got into that, and you know, I had to figure out a way. The first couple years I taught, man, I spent way too much time on the Civil War, and I was like talking about battles and different railroad systems, and I look back at the students and they're like,
Yeah,
We're
that's it. That's the
full.
look.
Yeah.
We're full.
you know, and I'm like, I've lost them.
Yeah.
There was a battle, and there was a Gettysburg Address.
Yeah. When I
Just hit the high point.
my first year when
cause and effect.
my
That's
first
it
year when
now.
I taught the Cold War,
Yeah.
dude, I talked about containment theory
Yeah.
and communism and, you know, Eisenhower's involvement in Vietnam. Like, I threw down
You
on
taught.
some Vietnam War.
You
yeah,
taught.
like, but I spent way too, you know, because most history classes, Vietnam War, it's like 2 days by,
A blip,
we're done.
Yeah.
I spent 2.5 weeks on it. And, man, those kids, same look. It was,
Mr. Wilson, we're full.
Yeah.
hey, Colt, your fly's open. And I'd be like, thanks, Jerry. And then I'd zip my
You
fly
got
open.
change
And
for
then, you know,
$5?
I was, yeah. Oh, dude, all the daggum time. Don't even get me started on that. Hey, Colt, you got change for a fly.
Fine.
I ain't been in machine money.
Yeah.
No, I don't. Go away. But in other news, that's the end of the podcast. So thank you for joining us. We appreciate you tuning in to one of the greatest episodes we've ever recorded. Murphree will talk next episode, so just stay tuned for that.
Bay of Pigs invasion. That's another good one.
That's
I just lied about it one time. Bay of Pigs. There wasn't nobody listening, so I just started making up stuff. Actually about pigs.
That's a good idea.
Yeah. Nobody was
need to try
listening,
it
so
just
I
to
just
see
started
if
making it
anybody's
up.
paying
Yeah.
attention. Give them
Yeah.
bonus points if they put down the wrong answer because that means they're actually
Man,
listening.
there's a herd of
There's always
pigs
that
over
one
here.
kid that Googles it.
There's a herd of,
Shows
Herd
you.
of pigs.
and they invaded.
Invaded.
Wasn't there a game about that, Angry Bird? Isn't that what that's about?
You've inspired me to read that. I got a diary at home on Mosby. I'm going to start reading that.
Yeah.
All right.
Oh, Larson.
My wife is calling me.
Yeah.
Frostbite. What
My
was it
wife
called?
is calling me.
Oh,
Farside.
Farside.
Yeah, check it
Gary
out.
Larson, Farside.
Gary
Good
Larson.
stuff.
That's all we've got. So she's got to answer Carrie, or what's your name? Clint's got to answer Carrie, and we got to go. So we'll see you on the other side. Don't forget, you can talk.
Or
Hey, sweetie, what you doing?
go home.
Go home.
Or
Go
home.
home.
Go home.
92,
Yes.
91, 90, 89,
Are we recording?
88.
Okay.